The Sims 4 Life and Death expansion pack is probably the most excited I've seen the community for a pack release in quite a while. There is so much to check out with this pack. There's a lot of fun build and buy, cast, gameplay. Today I'm gonna do 10 hidden features that you might not know in the Sims Life and Death expansion pack. After a little bit of research, I've put together a really exciting top 10 list, so there's gonna be something for everyone, and there's also gonna be a surprise in the middle of the video. And a huge thank you to EA for sponsoring today's video. Okay, the first feature I wanna talk to you all about is a little bit of cross-pack compatibility, and that is with Get Together for the club system. I was really hoping that there was some activities that you could do to give you some clubs for Sims Life and Death expansion pack, and we found 2 activities that you could do. The first one is tarot card reading. I actually played around with this on TikTok Live, and the community came up with the club Tarot Together, which, tell me that does not sound like a Sims 4 pack. The Sims 4 Tarot Together just sounds like it could be an expansion pack on its own. But yeah, basically put it as a club activity, invite all of your Sims to the club, and you'll all be able to read tarot cards together, and you can do it for free or you can charge each other. But yeah, just a little bit of fun. And the other one we found is to use Evil Ghost Mastery, which is developed with the Ghost skill tree, of course, and there's good and bad ghost abilities. Get your group of evil ghosts together and have yourself an evil ghost club. We decided to name this club Ghostbusters. Another really fun activity that you could do, and we do love a bit of cross-pack compatibility, so this one was a really nice feature to see. All right, moving on to feature number 2. This is another way to have an out-of-body experience. So you might have already heard of the bog in Ravenwood. The Baleful Bog is basically that big body of water where you can have an out-of-body experience. If you walk into it, temporarily turn into a ghost. Well, there are new frogs in The Sims 4 called Death Frogs, which you can find scattered around Ravenwood. Have one of those in your inventory and you'll be able to cook the boiling Death Frog hot pot. You have to be level 7 cooking to unlock the actual dish. Your Sim will actually really enjoy this meal, and once they finish the bowl, they will turn into the temporary ghost, and they will have access to the Ghost Mastery skill tree. This progress is actually saved, so even when you go and become a ghost in the afterlife, once you've kind of lived out your life a little bit, then all of your progress from these kind of temporary out-of-body experiences will be saved. So kind of a way for you to work on those ghost abilities before even being a proper ghost. There is something in the description which kind of alludes to if you stack the out-of-body experiences back to back, then you will die. Honestly, I don't know if that's possible. 7 or 8 times later, and she still always reverted back to being a human. If you actually eat the hot pot whilst being a ghost, it will just refill your ghost stamina. So it actually will have a positive effect. I thought maybe that was what I needed to do, but nope. In the end, she just gets to experience being a ghost for 4 hours and then back to human form. Moving on to feature number 3, this is another bit of cross-pack compatibility with Parenthood. So I noticed that we get a journal that comes with Life and Death, and with this journal, you're able to write your bucket list. This is where you can select different bucket list activities. You can also express melancholy thoughts. If you are sad and need to work through your emotions, you can make it an heirloom. And it was looking kind of similar to the one that we got with Parenthood. And yes, it is actually the same object. And now we get one with Life and Death. So one of the new traits that came with The Sims 4 Life and Death is skeptical. This will make your Sims skeptical of occults and basically kind of question these powers. So I decided to do a little bit of testing with some of the existing occults that we have in the pack. Here we have spellcasters with Realm of Magic, and you'll have the new interaction to demand proof of powers. And this is really cool because I noticed that there were so many different responses to this one question. So here our spellcaster did kind of something magical, and your Sim will respond in a few different ways. My Sim here responded in a dazed way. But fast forward to this lot in Ravenwood with a bunch of ghosts, and we asked the same ask for proof of powers, and the ghost did this really cool thing with the Sulani shell. And my Sim got a strangely focused moodlet, so again, reacting differently. I also tried it with another ghost who actually died in a different way. Demand proof of powers, and they responded in a completely different way with this kind of rage floating animation. I also thought it would be fun to try it with Grim Demand Proof of Powers, and Grim also did something completely different. My sim honestly wasn't that impressed with that one. She just kind of sat down and started to play chess, but there you go. Grim was trying to prove his powers, and that interaction that comes with the skeptical trait. So before we jump into the next feature, I had the opportunity to spend the day with makeup artist Shania Paris a few weeks ago, who actually gave me a Sims Life and Death expansion pack makeover. Shania had this creative vision to paint white roses on my face using actual flowers as stencils to get the fine lines. They turned out absolutely beautiful, and they kind of reminded me of funeral flowers, like death flowers, but in a very angelic way. She also gave me these white eyelashes that were a little scary at first, but honestly the look came together when she did this white and pink ombre lip. The whole look was so fun. It was so angelic and very fantasy, but in kind of a dark and sinister way. So that was perfect for Sims Life and Death. I will leave Shania's links down below if you want to check her out. She does the most amazing looks. We had the best time together, and it definitely got me in the mood and excited for this pack. Okay, moving on to the next feature. You can now write horror books in The Sims 4. This requires a level 7 writing skill, and actually, if you are on a lot with the lot trait on Hallowed Grounds, you actually have a ability to write higher quality horror books. And like all books, you can take them to your mailbox and either self-publish them or sell them to a publisher, and you'll earn royalties every single day. All right, the next feature explores one of the fun interactions that comes with the Thanatology skill, which you can kickstart by going on the computer and reading some theories. It's a limited skill at only 5 levels, but once you reach level 4, you actually develop the ability to speak dead languages. This is a really scary interaction, honestly, so don't turn the volume up too high. Your sim will speak dead languages and then get embarrassed, and the sim that you're speaking to will not be impressed, and you'll actually decrease in friendship. But it's really cool. I thought this was a really cool interaction. Moving on to our next feature, which I actually discovered through Nardvillain, one of my favorite creators. I will leave him linked down below. Absolutely love his comedy and skits that he does in The Sims 4. You've definitely seen his videos before. But he actually discovered this really cool reference to, oh my god, what's it called? The Ring. The girl coming out of the TV. There's a new TV channel called Static TV, and if you have a skeptical sim watching the TV, you might find your TV starting to leak and a terrifying ghost will pop up. I don't think it's related to lot traits because I tried it with Unhallowed Ground, but also it worked when the lot trait wasn't there. But I do think having a skeptical sim is necessary. It didn't work with kids, and yeah, it didn't work with sims who weren't skeptical. Moving on to another cross-pack compatibility feature, and that is with the Paranormal pack, which kind of makes sense that the two go hand in hand together. So with that pack, you actually get the medium skill, and using the seance table that comes with paranormal, so this is a paranormal object, will allow you to develop and increase that medium skill. And then in Ravenwood, you'll find these 2 houses where you can cleanse ghostly infestations. There's 2 houses side by side, which I thought would make the perfect kind of experiment to see if 2 different sims had different experiences. One had a medium skill level 5 and the other had 0 medium skill, although she did develop medium skill after doing this action. So if you do have paranormal, those houses are another way to increase the skill. And so yeah, lo and behold, the sim that had no medium skill was unsuccessful in cleansing the house, and the sim that had level 5 medium skill was successful in cleansing the house. So a little bit of cross compatibility, and I do think those packs actually work really well together. This next feature is cross compatibility with My Wedding Stories. So I kind of wanted to see what this new Symmetry lot was capable of. So I had 2 sims get engaged and firstly try to organize a wedding with the normal base game plan a wedding feature. Symmetry didn't pop up. But then when you plan a customized wedding, which comes with the My Wedding Stories pack, the Symmetry was an option under Ravenwood. So a fun compatibility element with that pack. And then obviously you need to jump into build mode and add the necessary objects to actually have a wedding. But honestly, the Symmetry in the pack was beautiful and actually a really cool backdrop for a wedding. If your sims are very kind of dark and gothic, I think this could be really cool. I kind of regret doing it in the day. This definitely would have looked a lot better at night. And we are now at our last feature. This is feature number 10, but this is this is a big one. I've got a lot stacked into this. It was coming to the end of my Sims life. I also wanted to experiment with the crow death, and it was time for Emma to be rebirthed into Emmala. So we didn't want to stray too far out of our comfort zone. We're Emmala, and I decided to move her next door to the house that I've been playing with throughout most of this video. And the goal here was to see how much she would remember her old life, how much she would remember of Emma. So she started her rebirth life with no skills, no relationships. She had the reborn trait, but she had no milestones and not really any memories of her past. Now it was time to invite our old family to our house, a little neighborly welcome wagon. Did a little respectful introduction, and I was kind of considering these two were married in the past life. I was kind of intrigued to see what would happen. So just after an initial introduction, clicking on their profile, we immediately got this strange relationship. So there was definitely something there. They were starting to remember. You're then able to actually talk about the strange connection, which I think is cool. They obviously were getting an energy, they were feeling something, and they start discussing their past relationship. Suddenly, hang on, that friendship bar down in the bottom right, that went from being 0, obviously it was non-existent because she started her rebirth with 0 relationships. After talking about their strange connection, it jumped up to half friendship immediately. It was an immediate 0 to 50. And then they got the option to re-encounter soulmate. Really wasn't sure where this was gonna go, but oh my God, within a couple of seconds, they both remembered their past life and they were soulmates again. And not only that, they were reunited soulmates, deeply connected. So I was playing as him. I was not playing as her. She was just autonomous. She really wanted to move quickly. She wanted us to move in together, to start dating. She was also able to console us about a recent death that we'd had in our lives, which was her. She was the recent death, which I thought was kind of a strange circle of life. There was some really cute rebirth interactions, talk about previous life and talk about past relationship, which obviously for both of them was each other. And then completely autonomously, honestly, like 5 minutes after they became soulmates again, she proposed to him completely autonomously. So very quickly they fell back to being soulmates reunited, which I thought was really, really sweet. Once Emmala moved back to her old home, she had a couple of interactions with her with the urn from Emma. But apart from a moodlet, nothing else really happened. But I think the reunited soulmate storyline is so cute. And there's a lot of storyline potential to be explored there. So that is it. That is 10 hidden features that you might not know in The Sims 4 Life and Death. Maybe you knew some of them, maybe you didn't. Let me know which ones you're most excited for. Let me know your thoughts on the pack if you plan on picking it up. Just a reminder that I do have an EA creator code Emma, which you can use at checkout in the promo code section on the EA app or on the Sims 4 store. It doesn't give you any percentage off, but it does help me massively as a creator. So if you do end up using my code, please let me know so I can thank you. But thank you so much for watching. A huge thank you to the EA Creator Network for sponsoring today's video. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye!